Everybody got their phones turned off or down? Mayor call the meeting over, right?
That's why you call taxis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Donna?
Martyr.
Here.
Mazer.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Zimmer.
Here.
All right, non-agenda items from the sideline. First up, Mr. Mazer.
Okay, I took on the task of doing the brick paper, which is here, I got samples made. I checked with a flower shop in Clinton Township, and we could get their bricks, we'd have to buy them. It was $125. So I didn't get no more information from them. Then I called Lincoln Granite on Cass, and we could do our bricks, the ones we have in Millennium Park. They wanted 45, but then we'd have to deliver them, pick them up, you know, just like Richmond wanted. And we checked online for this information in front of you, that's my brick. We can get the brick, and we either get the writing inlaid, but they would only come in this red color, or we get it on top. But they're guaranteed for life.
Even on top, Kevin?
Even on top, they got freeze, thaw, cycling, salt spray exposure, ultraviolet light exposure, they guarantee for life. If something happens to them, we'd let them know, they send us a free one. So they'll outlast our lifetime. So I talked with Bart, we'd showed him already. So he's okay with it. I took this one brick and went to the park, and they match with the other ones, so the ones we already have there, we can rearrange them and make them work. So if we decide to go back with these inlay more so than on top, then we can like pick different colors. So it's up to you guys if you're okay with me mixing the different colors, or if we go with this color, we pick one of these three colors and it gets printed on the top. So I'm willing to, me and Robbie are willing to set it up on the website, collect the money, you know.
It'd be
come to the-
$25 or $30.
It's $25 to $30 for these bricks, free shipping. We got these within a week.
The more you buy, the cheaper
The more
they
you
are.
buy, the cheaper they could be. They could be 25, they could be 20.
Nice.
So I offered to Bart that if he didn't have time, I could help him rearrange them, do
Because
whatever.
they will have to be rearranged.
It will have to be arranged.
Because these are smaller.
These are smaller by, the width is pretty close to the same width as what we got, but it's about 1.5 inches narrower. But, I mean, we can make it work there, just have to rearrange them. So, I mean, it's up to you guys, you know, if you're okay with it, we'll move forward and advertise on the Memphis sites.
Can you get everything you kind of want on them, Kevin? Like, you know, you said that these are smaller?
You can get 18 characters on 3 lines.
Okay.
And if you want a symbol like a cross, then you can only put 10 across, 10 digits, and then a sign.
So if somebody wanted like a firefighter thing or something
If
like
they
that.
wanted a fire symbol, yeah. You'd have to figure out how to do everything in 30 characters.
So 18 characters, you said 18, right?
Do you have thoughts?
I think it's amazing that they guarantee it for life.
Here's the
Yeah.
warranty. I mean, it's all in writing, so I mean, we have it.
Yeah.
And we called them and talked to them several times. So we kind of got a count set up. All we got to do is, you know, say yes or no, and, I mean, we can do it, so.
Well, and Bart's okay with this?
Art's okay with it. I thought we had him come to the house and he looked at it and,
Either one, or just, or would you?
well, he wasn't sure on the color, but,
He said if we got different colors,
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
could mix it up.
they
If you
show it.
if you see in the one picture, there are different
Yeah, I
colors.
should have brought the
Yeah.
book. It shows
This one?
different, because this is
See
a,
how it's different,
Please,
different
yeah.
shades?
they
Yeah.
do fundraisers for different, communities and they show all the different colors and they look really good, so. I mean, if you want, it depends if, you know, if we
Cause I
go
like
with,
the deep set.
we would probably prefer the deeper writing, so then we'd have to go like these colors.
That'll make,
And then
no,
we would have to mix them up.
Yeah.
I like that one, it stands out pretty nice, and if they guarantee it, it's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lifetime guarantee through all the elements.
the top three aren't the ones
Not
that
like
have.
those other ones are.
Yeah, the
etched.
top
No,
threes aren't
the
the
top
ones,
three are
it's
the
the bottom
ones-
They're not
three.
very, they're not etched very.
That's where it says that kind of writing is called petrified, so it's.
So anything that
the
says
color, the
petrified.
rustic, and the English.
So we would do
No.
and the other ones are the top three. But either one's guaranteed for
Does
life.
this kind of match what we have already? or
Not
is
at all.
This is the
Yeah.
color.
No,
These colors are the ones that we kind of have now.
yeah, okay, that's right, they were more,
It'll be more like that,
yeah, more like that, that's right. Okay.
Is that lighthouse tray, is that the one you brought?
Pardon me?
This lighthouse
The
tray?
middle one is
Oh,
called
it's, oh,
three.
landmark
Yeah.
tray,
Okay,
okay.
not really. I got it with me, whatever you wanna go there, and as long as if Bart's, you got it okay from Bart, he's going to kind of. put him in.
Well, I offer to help him if he need, you know, if
Yeah,
he's
okay.
busy, I mean, I'm willing to go over there and help
Yeah.
him out, or whatever needs to be done.
And it seems more trouble-free than any of the others. I know when I was working in Richmond there, I dropped by every couple of months.
Well, to give you an example,
It took-
Ruth
Yeah,
went there for that thing sign, she went there in August. And we were at a historical meeting,
yeah,
and they already dropped the ball on her.
They said they were
Same
thinking
thing,
about it.
yeah,
they'll think about it,
Yeah.
so it's already been 2 months with them.
yeah. It
And
took
they're
over a
already,
year.
they already threw her under the bus with that, so.
Motion and-
I would say just whatever you
We can
feel.
make one
I'm
last time to
okay with
start,
anything
December.
else,
No,
whatever
we
you
don't.
want to do.
Well, besides labor, there's really no cost to the city, right?
No,
Because the people are paying for their
There is
own
no
bricks.
cost to the city, the bricks come just like that, we pay $30, they ship them, they'll ship them to the house. We did Linda's, the only problem we didn't like about it is they put dots here in between the,
I'm gonna go to the dash.
and if it would have been dashes, we would have used this one if we went with this style. But,
I'll probably just give that to Larry because he's been waiting almost.
Yeah, he's been
almost
waiting, so
a
he
year
can-
and a half.
Is that with the cost of, with the printing on it? or what?
Yeah.
Is that
That's all, that's right there, $30. Ship
I would
free,
just say go with, what,
Free shipping.
yeah.
free shipping.
Did you like, you guys like the imprint or up above, or, as long as they won't last, I guess it don't matter, does it?
I think the ones that are stamped would probably last longer because you're not gonna have water getting in there
Yeah.
and freezing.
That's what they had said, that possibly you'll get the sand or whatever, even though they guarantee either one.
You like the grayer one?
I think
Oh,
both,
that's-
yeah, I think they both look great, so.
Yeah, they do too.
They're both warranted.
Yeah.
They're,
I was just thinking that if you get water in there, then it freezes.
If they're guaranteeing it and they're gonna, you know, as long as they're in business for a while, you know.
And actually, I don't mind if you get different colors, because it'll
Yeah,
just
we
stand
do
out,
too.
I
those will
think
be
it
the ones that people
like
notice.
I think when you
Business.
start,
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess
but
it's
they're all
one of
gonna
those,
be the
it's-
same print,
it-
one or the other.
so if we're gonna move forward with this, I mean, I would almost say leave it up to whoever's ordering the brick to get what they want. I mean, you know, I know Bart's
Yeah.
little, like, you know, the colors won't match, but you know what, you mix them up. I
Yeah, the
mean,
color, yeah, we can do the
And if
mix.
somebody wants the deeper
I just
inlay as
want-
opposed to the surface print,
Yeah, I don't think it'll look good if we do both,
One or the other, yeah.
okay.
both
But
up
I
and
laid
down.
that one down, and Linda's over there, and it looks okay, but I mean, if we did the inlay to the other inlays, it'd probably be better, because we got the other ones
You
there.
got them already done.
And we will rearrange them because of these are smaller, but
Right,
I think that probably the inlay would probably be
because what we
better.
already have is the inlay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Yes.
the ones that are already there are already into it, like this one.
Right,
And they're a bigger brick.
yeah.
Okay, so both colors and the deep one, right? Is that what you were saying?
that's what I'm suggesting.
Your suggestion, the imprint, and, yeah,
Yeah,
And
and it'll be in the claret, the rustic red, and the
Yeah.
antique.
yeah. All right.
So when you guys go to people, they'll just pick out the color and it'll be the
We
inlay.
could probably
Well,
like, we
I was
could
gonna
probably
do
like
like
send, you know, if we get
6
3 at a time, we'll send one of each color, or if they don't like that, you know.
No.
I thought every batch I could change the color.
Huh?
I thought just change, do 10 one shade, and 10
Yeah, we
the
could,
next
you
10.
know,
Oh, that's good.
move them around.
All right.
I think that works.
All right, well, hey, thanks for taking this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And, yeah, and
Kind of been a long time coming too.
Yeah, and it's something that you could just send the order in and ship.
We'll
to
set
us.
it up on
It's so
both
much easier.
Memphis websites, and like I said, they came to the house last
Yeah.
time. We'll just set it up, city won't have to,
Yeah.
won't have to go and bother
Yeah.
Donna, so we'll take care of it and,
Will they do payment to you as well? or
yeah,
to the
check
city?
or cash, come to the house and pay, and then we'll go from there and order them, and then when we get enough, I'll talk to Bart, and then we'll start laying.
Should that come into the city or what do you think, Don?
That's parks.
Should what come into the city?
It will.
The
come.
money.
It will, the money, or how's that gonna be handled?
Well, I don't,
Wouldn't it be
were we
parks?
doing that before with the
No.
money? Yeah, I didn't think we were doing it before.
I just collected the money and I was gonna pay for it, all the money.
Well,
It's
yeah.
not a city.
Okay, long as it's okay, that.
I don't know,
I'm
you
just-
think that-
I'm just
I mean,
questioning.
I mean,
We're not
truthfully, if
making
it's,
anything off of
No,
it, and
no.
we're not, and
no, but if it's an auditor
It's an
fee,
auditor
they
fee.
will want to see
That's
the
what
money
I'm
come in
saying.
and out, so they'd have to pay us and we'd have to give it to you. Write you a check.
The fact that you're discussing it and looking for permission tonight makes it a
Makes
city thing.
like a city thing, yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
But, I mean, it's fine if they drop off the check to the city.
Well, we can
Just
check-
have them make it out to the city of Memphis, bring it by, and then we'll just have to cut you a check
Yeah.
for the bricks.
And then that way they can stop by the city during, all
Yeah.
its
We can
hours.
do the website and then have them come here and pay, I guess.
We'll figure that part out.
Okay.
Good,
Then you
okay,
wanna
thank
go with
you.
this one then? This one?
The more inlaid one.
Yeah, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go with the inlay.
I don't think we're voting, are we?
Yeah, I don't think you did.
We
I
did
think
it
we already,
last-
we voted on this years ago.
Yeah, that we're
Yeah,
gonna do it. We're gonna
yeah,
do it.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We finally have somebody who's willing to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks,
okay.
Kevin.
All right,
Thanks
we're all
again.
set?
You're welcome.
I would think.
Okay.
Next up,
Progress.
on, non-agenda, Sally Morgan?
I just wanted to say thank you to the CBA members for the last meeting with the 6-0. And it was a job well done by the members and keeping everything organized. And I wanted to point out that the housing issue, when anything gets brought up, it always seems to turn into more of a racist instead of the issue that it's a violation of code. And I guess that's just due to people's opinions, but what a lot of people don't realize is how much time is being spent as well as money from the city, the city members and our lawyer in taking care of someone who purchased these properties who only wanted to do it for himself and not follow the rules. But I don't know if that ever really gets clear when people talk about it, because they all take it, oh, they're migrant workers, they're this or that, instead of the real issue. But that's just one of the things I wanted to point out. And I wasn't sure if anyone was aware that the duplex that he was housing his manager and their family, he does have his workers living there now, so it's not really, it's being used as a boarding house, in case you guys were not aware of it. So, let's see. And I do see improvements, of course, on the property, but I have a feeling that a lot of that was due to the, ZBA meetings that were involved. I have little faith that the Toys would okay, I'm messing up. That they would continue to improve their property just by the past situations and how he's approached things, but, we could hope, but I'm assuming that the other two properties are also gonna have to be taken into account because they're still, not following the zoning. I didn't know, I just didn't know if that was something that you were planning on doing, so. And then it was brought up by somebody else to me about the Kunhudenberg ordinance for the funeral home. And he was worried if Mr. Toit would turn it around somehow, like, oh, the city, they allowed me to spend all this money and now I can't use it for what I want. So I just was hoping that everyone carefully analyze, what his purpose is for continuing the construction of the funeral home. just so that we don't run into any further discrepancies that could cost us taxpayers money again, so. I just, by the way he talks and the things that he doesn't seem to be a very honest person, so. It's just what I wanted to say.
Great, thank you.
Good points.
Yep.
And the duplex, that is one of those grandfather properties in the zoning, and I think it's pretty clear from the zoning code, you can't change use. So we'll have to cross that bridge and see how the court rules on this. I don't know if we have a timeline and then it goes back to court, but it's gonna be on the docket soon. I would
It's,
hope.
in December, I think is what I remember the earliest date, so.
Are they just ruling on the funeral home though? I mean, the other two aren't.
That's a specific issue,
Yeah,
but,
Is he in compliance on Frank's old house?
no.
well, depending on the
The-
ruling, I think it's gonna be kinda hard to
The
discount that.
passage of the court cases on the old funeral home, not on any of the other houses. Okay, move forward. The city administration. Doug?
I'd like to discuss purchase of a new fire engine. Do you want to do that here or add it to new business?
Why don't we put that on the new business? 8, 9?
9.
Yep.
Otherwise, nothing else.
Donna gave some extra information to make in the pack, but there's minutes from the meeting that we had concerning that, so there's a little bit of information. I don't know if anybody get a chance to read, it's kind of quick now, but there's some stuff there, but I'm sure Doug will touch base on it.
Yeah.
Then on October 19th, we're gonna be closed from 10:30, I don't know till what time, for Michigan Clerks Association meeting. And on the 26th, we're gonna be closed all day because BSNA is redoing their software for the treasurers and we gotta go learn it.
Yeah.
So, them 2 days will be closed.
What was the second date?
26th,
6.
26th.
Judy?
So for Parks and Rec, we have senior lunch on Friday the 13th of October.
Well,
And we're doing another card scrapbook craft day at the Lions Hall on November 11th. That's an all-day thing, and there's some information Donna has, and it's also on Facebook with my number. That's it.
Moving right along, adoption or amendment of the agenda, anybody have any, well, we have several changes, don't we? Yes.
I have one change, and that's number 3 under new business. I want to change that to introduce ordinance number 221, amending 150.055 commercial overlay district C1.
And then number 9, discussion of fire truck.
Fire truck,
And also we need to add under communications, number 2, resignation of Ken Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Any further changes, I make a motion we adopt the agenda as amended.
Support.
Macer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. Approval of regular and special meeting minutes of September 5th, 2023. Can we get a motion, unless there's some changes?
There was one thing, I think it was probably just a typo, or maybe it may have been auto-corrected. Sorry, I marked it and I didn't pull it out. In the discussion about Bell River Road, it says the city border, but I think she meant the county border. When she typed it up, I was gonna actually talk to her when I got there, but I forgot about it. What's that do with it?
Under new business D.
New business 1, Dave Rushing? Yeah.
Yeah.
From Boardman Road, our city limits,
to St. Clair County.
It's not the city limits.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know if she meant to put county limit, because it is the county limit.
The county border to the city limits,
Just
to
clarification.
the Riley border.
If there's no further changes, I'll make a motion to adopt the amendment, or the minutes. As amended.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Next up, presentation approval of the September disbursements of $649,000, $649,837.63, and the electronic wire transfers of $12,166.25. We paid a lot of bills this year.
Yep.
It's a lot of taxes, right? Yep. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the September disbursements of $649,337.63, and electronic wire transfers of $12,166.25.
Second.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr, Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, communications, can I get a motion to put the communications on file?
So moved.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
The Knights of Columbus, Council 10501 Holy Family Church would like to use the intersection of Main Street and Boardman Road on October 12th, 13th, 14th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. for their fall mission drive, their Tootsie Roll Drive. Knights of Columbus gives all funds collected to those with intellectual disabilities and Special Olympics. Can we get a motion to allow the Knights of Columbus to do their Tootsie Roll Drive?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to allow the Knights of Columbus to have the intersection from October 12th, through the 14th, from 7 till 5 p.m. That's it.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Right, next up, letter of resignation from Ken Riley to the city of Memphis. Mayor and council members, please accept my resignation from the zoning board of review. Ken Riley.
Can I make a motion to accept his resignation?
Zoning board and board of review.
Zoning board and board of review, both of those.
Support.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa, Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
All right, next up, unfinished business, discussion with players, subdivision, looking at vacating roads. Steve, I'll turn this over to you, I know you did some legwork on this one.
Try to make this just brief, just kind of give you an overview. You've got some information that I sent prior to the meeting, and I had a couple more that I added that I put on there so you can read the communications I had. I talked to, just a real quick recap, Mr. Brown is our chairman, or rather, he is the chairman of the county commissioners, but he's our county commissioner. He put me in touch with Mr. Fiorni, I don't know if I get his name right pronounced, but he's our county clerk in Macomb. I spoke with him on the phone regarding this, and then he put me in touch with Paul Zook, who is the right-of-way agent, handles these types of situations. He's got a lot of experience in that. He did a lot of this in Wayne County. And then the deputy register of deeds also contacted me and gave a nice PDF file, and I forwarded all this to Amber, so she's in the loop through all this. But basically, this is what I found out, and if you read the communication got there, you can flesh it out a little bit more. But you know, this map right here is our half of Macomb County that I got in a few months back. But the little yellow, I know you can't see it here, but the yellow is representing unvacated roads or alleys in the McGuire subdivision. One of those sheets that I sent you Mr. Zook sent me the original plat for the McGuire subdivision, which was done in 1917. And so that was the as-is for the original one of it. And then Mr. Zook also, he checked his records in Macomb County to see what it actually had been done. And that's the colored map that you've got in your pack there represents that. And these white spaces here are unvacated portions of the McGuire subdivision roads. And that does match up exactly with the current map that I got from the Register of Deeds. So this is accurate. And what was interesting on this that he pointed out to me is there's been several portions of this have been vacated before. Anywhere we see the colors overlapping in the, where it says, you know, here's Ash Street, Oak Street, Wire Street, and so forth, where the colors overlap from the lot lines, they have been vacated, and they've been registered with Macomb County. The ones that have not are showing in white. So a good portion has been done. Actually, you know, our T-ball area was vacated. All the pink areas are city property now. It's the youth center. This is where the basketball court is. This is the Little League. This is the T-ball. I think this is the T-ball court.
A little bit to the left of that.
Anyway,
That
overall city
driveway,
properties.
that driveway runs
Yeah,
right
and
into it.
then of course, you know, we have your property here, and what's the alley, these are both your lots here,
Yeah, in front,
so,
with an alley in between.
yeah, technically, that has not been vacated, but again, you know, that's up to
I don't know why they did the neighbors, but not that.
Well, you gotta initiate the action to do it. So half of this street, all of these properties here that front N19 have vacated half of McGuire Street. Our veteran, who's next across the street from, or just next door neighbors to Mrs. Wheeler, he has his portion that is also shown there. I mean, it's a 50-foot wide stretch, so that would, I don't know if he did half or 10 feet. I think he might have mentioned 10 feet at one time, but I don't know. But the description will show that. So to make a long story short now, anybody that is abutting these, you got a few choices. You know, you can take half. Each adjoining property owner could take half, like you, for instance, Jason. You know, if you can come to an agreement between this owner, and say you want half. If you don't, some people don't, because they don't want the extra land on their deed. Then, you know, in writing, you would say, okay, you can take it all, or they can give it to the city. They can deed it to the city if they want. So all that has to be worked out, and then the description, our city assessor has to update the legal description of the land, and the assessment would change. I don't know how much, but it would change because you're adding, you know, acreage, basically, right, square footage to the property.
I know,
And then, go sure.
I know for me, for instance, because I have the front lot with a house on it and the back lot without, I pay very little for the back lot because there's no structure on it.
Yeah.
So if this were to go through and happen, I would assume that the assessor is gonna say combine both lots.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I think
You
that's
can just
what
leave
they
the
would.
status quo, as any of these people can.
Yeah.
This is just trying to answer Mrs. Wheeler's question.
Yeah,
So this-
it's all.
Ball's in her court now with this. So she could, you know, initiate this action. I thought I was here tonight, but I'll try to talk to her about it. And a lot of it, you see, like here, the city property, you know, we're city property on both sides, so we don't really have.
Same with the other ball diamond area.
Yeah, we don't really have to deal with that unless we wanted to. But in one of the sheets I gave you all the tax ID numbers for every property, you know, that is around that area, so that we have that on record. And I think I gave Amber a copy of that also. So at that point, if these property owners come to an agreement, or Mrs. Wheeler says, you know, gets the balance of that road, and it's all done properly,
Or split the balance of the road, because, so if what I'm gathering right here, it looks like about 10 feet of it had been given to the prior owner.
The back is
There's
there
like
right now.
40 feet left, right?
Well, I don't know, that's the description,
Well-
it just looks smaller, I don't know.
Actually, I don't think it was Mr. Sisker got that 10 feet, I think it was
Prior owner?
a couple prior.
Cinda.
Okay.
Was that
Yeah.
Cinda?
It was Cinda.
Cinda, right, when Cinda
So
had a,
that would have to be
Right.
researched by the people involved.
Right.
And, yeah, so they could split it, or, like I say, if somebody doesn't want to assess their property, add their description, then you take it. If there is a dispute, that's when it would go to a circuit court, and they would adjudicate it there.
okay, so that's something that, you know, we could sit down, I guess, maybe and talk to Mike and talk to Joni and see.
It's up to these property owners to
Right,
do all that.
which way they wanna go.
If they come to us with an agreement, say, okay, we agree this, thus and so, we can, according to Mr. Zuck, who's the right-of-way agent, who deals with this stuff all the time, we could pass a resolution, and he says that he believes that's what happened here on these prior things.
Yep.
And I told him that we don't have the records because Eric said we had a fire at some point, and we've lost a lot of those records. So he says we have precedent for doing it. So if these property owners really want to pursue it, they can come to an agreement. We could look that over, say, okay, it looks good, and we're gonna pass a resolution to go ahead and do that, and then it's all recorded. And at that point, then we give that information to the county register of deeds, so it's recorded, and the updated assessments, and we're done.
It's really tricky, because when you look at Oak Street, and you say this dot right here, you're looking at the dot that,
Yeah, that's
the whole
the
dot
center
right in the
point.
middle. That center point, if we were to move that over, if we were to move that over and say, we ended up, me and the neighbor, going right in the middle, right? The problem with that little corner right there is you're pretty much right in that ball diamond. You'd be taking the ball diamond away from them. If you look at the overhead map that shows a satellite overlaid with the road map, this little area would be the trickiest part.
Well, the description is just, you have all the measurements there.
So basically,
Yeah, I've
for
looked at it
those-
with the maps and I'm like, wow, this would be the part that would be weird because,
Well, I think the
That would be
description would just
pretty much-
reflect
that's like third
the
base.
surveying,
Yeah.
whatever, but, you know, you would have the description, I don't, what's someone gonna try to take third base, I don't think so.
No, that's the thing, then when we were talking about it, it just becomes like a liability issue. How do you address that it's a city park that's actually part of the property? What
Or,
happens if something?
we can be status quo, we don't have to do anything.
Right, true.
That's, I said, we have that
And
option.
even right there, they could just do that right there on their own, right?
Yeah, I don't know why we never ended up, because actually Mrs. Wheeler, if she wanted, the city agreed, she could take 8 feet of that alley. And then on property across from you, it looks like they vacated 50 feet, but not the last 25
But
feet.
that's city property anyway still, so they just, it's just.
Well, I'm talking, right here.
Yeah,
There's these, originally those lots were they were platted at 25 feet, of course, we require 75 feet. So when you look at the updated, that's why you see those in blocks like that, because the original plats they were gonna build on a 25-foot lot. So yeah, there's a lot of questions, but that's up to the people who wanna deal with it. I think we have enough information now, we can go forward, and they can get, the deputy clerk said, you know, if you want, you can get an attorney who's familiar with these, not us. I mean, I would leave that up to the people.
Right, if they wanna pursue us vacating it to them, let them do their legwork.
Yeah.
So we have nothing to do with it then, really.
Just passing a resolution
to
affirming
allow it.
what they did.
The only thing that I would suggest is that you make the people combine the properties, because we've already got a problem over here on Main Street where
Mine's the only
properties went back to the bank, and we ended up with a piece of property that was not combined with the property in the front, and that's how we end up with this piece of property that's behind the property that's on Main Street, because they were never combined.
Yeah,
So the
mine was
person
the
actually
only-
had, I'm sure it probably was something similar to what this was back in 1917 or whatever, but I think we should,
Well, it would become part of their properties. You mean like the part of the road that's being vacated?
no more 4 different property.
No,
descriptions.
no, that would be,
It's only
the
mine that's-
description would be redrawn, and those boundaries then would move, you know, from that point to the halfway point. So it would be included in the lot. You're
How come
not,
they don't mark the
you're
house
not
on
buying
the
a
corner?
separate piece of property. It's going to be redrawn because they're assuming land, is my understanding. And Paul Zook, by the way, if we get into this deep, he offered to come up here and talk to us about it. If we
That was all one
really
property,
need
we sold part of
clarification.
that off, so this is an old man.
Okay, I was like, cause they don't even show this guy.
Yeah, because.
No, that's just old.
And he
Yeah,
and he
because
sold this part off.
he's probably got,
So he could build that garage a while back.
Well, that's where he's got the barn.
This
He
lot
bought like a
here,
third
they
of
don't
it.
have any claim to any of that land, so he's
Right.
not even in the picture, so I didn't include his property.
That was, yeah, that was actually, that piece was two separate parcels. The house on the corner was two separate parcels, and the previous owners sold like a third of it to Mike, where he built the barn. So that's, because like I said, that was a separate parcel.
Yeah.
It was probably somebody's
It had
property
nothing to do
before
with
the
our
plat was
discussion
even
of
drawn.
vacating that
Right.
land, though.
It looks like mine's the only one that needs to be combined.
Yeah.
And again, that's up to you.
I'm just saying, not necessarily about this, but I think if we're gonna do it, we should insist that properties be combined and get rid of the,
Well, it's be a good exercise, you know, we're
If they wanna do it.
figuring it out,
Yeah.
we'll refresh our memories on it anyway, and we could bring some of those things up to date, so.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
And again, if you read those pages I put out there, that'll explain it, and also get contact.
Thanks for doing the legwork.
You're welcome.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
what about, on some maps, the little run that goes next to your house shows up still as a road?
I don't care.
No, I know, you're saying, but I know it still
That's
shows
what
up
I
as
was
like,
thinking, mine is.
what do they call it,
Mine's
lion
the
grass?
same parcel.
yeah, that's platted too.
Lion
Mine
grass.
is- Where that,
There's property back behind.
where like that ditch is, that's
30
neither
feet wide.
mine nor,
It's 30 feet right
yeah,
away.
it's neither of ours.
Okay.
There's
You
actually,
take care of half and I take care of half, and I think it works out fine. I got a
That's-
big line of
that's-
bushes down it, so.
Works for me too.
I'm
All right.
totally fine with that.
Okay,
That's what I mean, it's
Yeah.
in the homeowner's ballpark.
all right, moving right along, let's get into new business. I don't know, the pool director election, they have three folks that wanna run for reelection. That would be George Osanic, Sue Osborne, and Dave Post. They're all incumbent, and they're all running for office. Can I get a motion to vote for those three?
I'll make that motion.
Support,
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
yes.
Schneider,
yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson, Weaver, Zimmer.
Yes.
All right. Next up, election commission, early voting. Donna, you wanna talk about this? Marilyn?
Yes, it was passed that we have to have 9 days of early voting. It's gonna cost us probably over $5,000 if we do it by ourselves, because we have to buy extra machines, because you can't use the same ones as you do on election day. So the county is trying to get us to go in with another one, in Richmond Township agreed to go in with us, and it won't be election day, it's just the 9 days before that. And it would save us half the money, plus we don't have enough people to even run 9
And
days.
My
plus election
understanding,
day.
those 9 days would be done at Richmond Township.
At Richmond Township Hall, and we would split our people, me and Amber would be there, 4.5 days, they would be there 4.5 days, so we're not there the whole 9 days.
And then doing that, then they would cover up to 80%, correct?
Yeah, the state will cover up to 80% if we go in with somebody, otherwise it's only like 60 or something.
And they're still voting here on
An
election.
election day would be here, yes, it's gonna be very confusing,
Yes.
but I don't think we'll get, I'm guessing maybe a handful of people go there.
That'll go
Most
early.
people are gonna do absentee voting, because they still have that.
So I'm going with this, what the state's looking at, going to split.
I mean,
with
that's
Richmond.
early. We'll do
Yes, so
absentee.
splitting with Richmond Township, it would have cost me $1,170 as opposed to the $5,850, correct?
Yes,
And we can't really even do it because we don't have the manpower.
right, we don't.
Yeah, that's your recommendation as a partner with them for the
Mhm.
9
Looks like doing it alone would be 7,000.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a mess.
Just split it? Yeah. and I
It
agree
just is
with
silly that our people
Yeah.
have to go all the way there, but
So,
I don't think we're gonna get many,
but
so.
that's
So,
economical
motion on that.
solution and a cheaper solution.
I'll make a motion to, do the 9 days of early voting split with Richmond Township, but leave election day voting at Memphis.
Yep,
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next up, recommendation from the planning commission. And this will be an introduction, ordinance 221, chapter 150.055. This is amendment to that section. This is actually 150.055A1. So this is an introduction on this. I don't know if there's anybody has any questions on this.
This is what we're adding to.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
You'll see you see the highlighted part on the second page. That's the change in the section.
Everything else stays the same.
It's also right here.
Why do we
Lay one
have,
down
why
on
do
the
we have to
table.
add that?
Make things
Steve,
clearer.
I gotta say something, but
Is it
you're
just
you're
for-
the planning commission.
Well, as this evolved, all the language that is in here was really directed to really clarify C1
It's just for
zoning
transparency?
district and the R, because it's C1 and R1. And we had grandfather clauses in there, we had non-conforming, what was a non-conforming building. All of this language here, basically, you can find in our other ordinances, but this puts it right up front with that title, land use title in Title 15. And I think it will protect us from people trying to wiggle around
This
other uses that are not in there. We have the uses spelled out very clearly in C1, what you may do, and we have, of course, residential 1, all of those uses are permitted. So it is just backstopping, and we'll have this in the master plan also, so we're not dealing with.
This covers it because we created a commercial overlay area, and this addresses it directly.
Should have been done 10 years ago.
Right.
A lot of people are confused what you could do there, so I think this will help clear that up. And it legally protects us from somebody trying to do something like making a boarding house on that, in that zone, or other uses, or they want to do whatever it is. If it's not listed in R1 or C1, it's not a proper use for that zone, so that's what it's doing. And all the definitions of terms you can find in our Memphis City ordinance book
Of
already.
all the other uses.
Well, and the terminology of what a non-conforming use is, prior use, change of use, all that stuff, it's all in there already, but this just kind of puts it all in one place.
Can I get a motion?
Motion to introduce.
Want me to make it, or?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion then that we had introduced ordinance number 221. And it's an ordinance amending Title 15 Land Usage Chapter 150, Section 150.055, Commercial Overlay District C1, as stated. I won't read it all, but I think
I'll support it.
yeah.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, next up, zoning board of appeals. We have a Mr. Robert Zambo. That wish-
Planning Commission.
We'll be planning commission first, I guess.
Okay. Yep. I didn't note it, and I lost it. Okay, I'm sorry. Planning. Please appoint John Terrace to the planning commission with his term to expire July 31st, 2027. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, back to the zoning board. Please, if we could get Robert Zambo appointed to the zoning board of appeals with his term to expire July 2026.
So moved.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
All right, next up, board of review. Please appoint Sally Morgan as a board of review member with a term to expire January 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Hey Sally, thank you.
All right. Oh, it's interesting, I'm gonna be learning.
All right.
That's a fun one.
All right, next up, DPW. We have an invoice from Lumberjack Shack Bart, this was to fix the zero turn, right?
Yes, it is.
So-
It'd be our 2017, I think it is. And-
So a lot of maintenance and,
Yeah,
okay.
well, yeah, the deck actually just stopped. Yeah, I needed bearings and, well, they had them do an oil change and a few other things. that needed.
While you've got it, done, get it done. So can I get a motion to pay the bill of $1,496.78 to Lumberjack Shack?
I'll make a motion that we approve lumberjack invoice in the amount of $1,496.78.
Support.
Next up, all the work that we.
Zimmer?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm jumping ahead.
Martyr. You, Martyr?
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
All right, next up, DPW, the overhead doors in the DPW building. Repairing the springs and the tracks and a lot of other odds and ends. The bill's $1,580. Can I get a motion to pay RDM overhead doors?
I'll make a motion we approve RDM overhead doors and then invoice in the amount of $1,580.
Support.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Wilson, Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
All right. Next up, discussion on the fire truck. Douglas?
Well, as I've told you before, it's time for us to be replacing our first throughout fire engine. It's currently 28 years old, has a mounting list of maintenance items that need to be done to it. I contacted 4 different manufacturers of fire apparatus to get an idea of what it would cost us. The first one was the company that built the engine that we currently have. I said, what would it cost to duplicate this for us? They came back with $835,000 for that. I contacted a newer company down in Georgia. They brought an engine up for us to see. We didn't really like what it had going for it. I have 2 others that were possibilities. One made by the Rosenbauer Company, who has made the past 2 engines that Richmond purchased. They were at $576 for their engine. And then I contacted Spencer Manufacturing. They are the company that has done the last 3 engines for Emmett. Emmett's very happy with them. It's a made in Michigan product. They are at $516,857 for an engine. I met with the fire committee along with Larry last week to discuss this. Larry has been working with me diligently to come up with a plan on how to pay for it. I should state that the one engine from Rosenbauer that's available for immediate delivery, which doesn't really work for us. The one from Spencer is 600 days out from the day we tell them go, so almost 2 years. I guess I'm looking for permission to go ahead and sign a contract with these guys to get working on a new engine for us.
You want me to make a few comments?
Sure.
Okay.
Larry understands the finance part of this.
Doug and I met 2 or 3 times ahead of a committee meeting, and I made up, I don't know, half a dozen spreadsheets on various scenarios of how to raise the money. And he informed me that Emmett actually collects around $69,000 a year, and how they do their equipment replacement fund is 37% of the prospective budget for each entity. And we do a total of 21%. Of all of them. And we've been getting, it's hard for us to accumulate enough money now. Right now, at the last audit we had, I checked it recently on that. I said, we don't have our audit in for this year yet, or for the last fiscal year. We had about $414,000 in there. I think we'll probably, and we don't have the audit, but just looking at some of the figures, we'll probably add another 30,000 or somewhere in that range. But, which is a lot of money, but a lot of things come out of that, a lot of your capital equipment and, turnout gear.
Stuff that you have ongoing expenses that come out of it.
Radios, I thought.
So that $414,000, not fully
Right,
available.
it's not gonna be enough. And actually, and we did I did another study on the, years ago, we did a 5-year average. Back when Tim France was the fire chief, the percentage was more static, and so we just did a set amount. And we've been doing that for years. And when you do the 5-year average now, Memphis has been way under what they should be paying. It should be much higher. And if you know, 2 years ago when we did the fire department budget, we did increase our portion, but it actually should go up significantly more. So, so we're probably going to have to bite the bullet and take a more. Memphis is going to actually have to pay a little more than that. And I wished I could have had this passed out to all of you ahead of time so you could review it, but we just got it done. But so I think we're going to have to actually start increasing our equipment fund somewhere in that range of 69,000. Now, we don't have the 5-year average is not our fiscal year, it's actually a calendar year. We'll have that at the end of this year, and we'll review it again. But I think we should have to put in that $69,000 range. Now, and since that's 600 days out, that's basically 2 years down the road, just a little less. And so if we increase this starting for the next calendar, I guess we'll be doing it probably in March, because the townships actually end, fiscal years ends the end of March. So we'll probably get into it in February, and Doug and I'll kind of work on that and see what it comes out with. But I think we're going to have to increase that. And I did make a sheet out here recommending that if we do increase that, then we definitely should then put the purchase order in for that fire truck.
So Memphis would have to pick up some of it. I mean, have you talked to the townships about this at all, or?
Well,
and I'm sure there was a lot of screaming and wailing, wasn't there?
Well, actually, the thing is, and we've been underfunding it for quite a while, I believe, because those averages were off. Now, it'll take a lot of those averages were because we had a lot of calls to that apartment complex there, and those are cut down significantly now, or almost nil. And I think what'll happen is that eventually come back and our runs will be down, but it takes, it'll take a long time.
To do
for
an
that.
average, it takes a few years to get back to those
In order
numbers.
to do that. It's just not, in retrospect, we probably shouldn't have changed, we should have left it, because then it would have just picked it up gradually or so on. So anyway, so if we do that, we'll have another couple of years in there, because it's going to take, at least 600 almost 2 years. And now, the other thing I will mention, and Doug mentioned this to me, that we will have to pay for the chassis when it comes in. And I think he told me it was what, 135?
130, yeah.
So
135,000.
somewhere to start at the bottom and start building it up. And
Right.
Yeah.
The other good thing about it being 600 days out is it gives us a chance to write a grant for it next year with the AFG grant. Now, getting those grants is no easy thing, but at least we'd be able to try.
Yeah, well, I was just hearing, I'm trying to think of fire departments, we're getting a lot of money from the state.
Well, we're getting that too.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But that was for very specific items.
Right.
And it couldn't be an engine, unfortunately.
Okay.
So we gotta buy the chassis ahead of, up front, basically.
Is that
Rather than the
included in
rest.
the 516?
And we did look over, they got pretty good warranties on a lot of this stuff and a lot of the equipment on there. All the stainless steel pump equipment had, what was the,
10 years,
10 years.
doesn't it a 10-year
The
warranty?
tank
or
is
something?
lifetime warranty on it.
Yeah, so,
And there will be a little value, I don't know, on the other equipment there.
Yeah.
But I don't, what do you think, 20,000?
20, 30,000
Yeah,
probably
that
at
range,
best.
so it won't be a lot, but,
To sell the old engine.
yeah, so, because we'll sell that as well, so. Anyway, that's kind of my input on it. I feel that we probably should go ahead with it, that's my personal opinion.
I thought that was the major accomplishment, getting Larry on board.
That was the hard part.
Can you make it 2 years with the existing one?
Yeah, it'll be fine for the time being.
So Larry, would you like, should we have a motion to increase that?
Yeah, well,
37%, is that what you're asking?
well, I think we'll get into the budget, yeah, I think we should increase the equipment in place funding. I don't know if you want me to, in the area of 600.
Well, you know what, we don't necessarily have to move on that right now. I mean,
No, I
if you
don't.
wanna spend some time crunching the numbers, but for right now, just to keep moving forward with to get approval to sign a contract with Spencer to move forward on, getting the machine and, the cost for, putting the cost out there to purchase the chassis to get the build started.
Then, I'll make a motion then that we issue a purchase order for the purchase of a fire truck in the amount of $516,857, and I don't know the company, so.
Spencer's.
Spencer, okay.
I'll support that.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes,
Wilson,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
And this
Say
is the
Merry
cop- this is
Christmas.
the
Who should,
okay.
who should sign the contract, you or me? Or does it agree?
Mayor.
Either the mayor or the clerk, either one, I think, should sign the contract.
Okay.
Did you guys see this?
Bart, you weren't here,
I'll see you
is there
there.
anything you
No, I
want to
didn't
chat
see that.
about?
No, I don't know if there was any questions regarding,
He's
Ford
got
Road
No, just,
continuing out.
No, but, I mean, if you wanna give us an update on Boardman, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, well, the cement finally got here, and the curbing's
I've seen that.
done, that was completed Saturday. They're working on sidewalks today. I'm not sure if they finished it. And then the next would be the driveway approaches. And then from there would be the
The
road
actual
itself.
asphalt itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Do you know on M19, are they just doing the strip repairs, or are they gonna
Yeah,
repave?
They're just putting speed bumps in.
no, I talked to the guy, so here's the process, what they have going on that, what they should have done before, instead of just going over it, they're actually cutting out all the bumps along the road that you feel, so they're cutting them out, refilling them, then what the guy told me, next step, they're going, half mile on one side of the road, then they do a half mile on the other side of the road, and they're going the full length to wherever it ends, like 31 mile road or 33 mile road.
31.
31?
All the way to Richmond.
Yeah, there's cones up all the way through Richmond.
Okay, and then they're going through there, after that, I guess they're gonna mill that down, so you have a totally flat surface, and then they go over it with. the
Right, so
asphalt.
once they fill in once they create all the speed bumps, they'll come and they'll mill it down because you can't take the road up so high. They'll
Yeah.
mill it all down flat, which is what they did, I know the last time they did it in 19 here, they did do that. Where
Yeah,
they
but
took it
they-
down because then you don't get above the curb. and-
Richmond really complained about the job they did last time.
Because all the
The
manholes.
last time was a lickety split, yeah.
I thought it was almost like a top coat last time, but I'm not sure, I don't remember them.
That micro,
Yeah,
Micro
yeah.
coating.
But Richmond raised a big stink about it with Tacoma MDOT.
Yeah, the last one was just like a light resurface. The one I'm talking about was probably 10 years
Oh,
ago
that
or
one,
so,
yeah.
where they ground it down and.
right.
And we did it.
So, yeah, from what the guy that I talked to, he's like, we're doing it right this time.
Well, you can see where the curbing is, and what they did last time, there's, you know,
Oh, yeah.
It's
you almost did like a narrow shovel now.
It's almost like 3/4 of an inch and hangs over the concrete curb.
You can't just shovel it
It
anymore,
fills
you have
with, it
to.
fills with about that much in acorns in front of my house.
Yeah.
I gotta flat shovel it out of there.
All right,
Otherwise it ends up in a storm drain.
okay.
Well, the storm drain on my corner is on an angle, so when the sweeper comes, it doesn't clean
Then you
any of
hit it.
that, so I'll have to go out there with the.
All right, from the mayor, we're gonna again have a pumpkin carving contest. Carve your pumpkin up, bring it down here, the city will judge it.
No, it's for businesses, they leave it
Oh, it's for
outside.
the businesses, oh, I'm sorry, I
Oh,
didn't read all the way through. Actually, it doesn't say anything about, oh, just on display, okay. And, the winner will be awarded on November 7th. All right, next up too, we have some, communication here, I shouldn't say communication, note from, the Council on Aging, from St. Clair County. Some stuff here, if anybody wants to read into it, but they're gonna have a, boardwalk to health fair Friday, October 13th at the Conrad Community Center in K-Pac. And that is all I have.
I have nothing. I do wanna thank Steve for working on these,
Yeah,
vacating roads. It's been a long time coming, and
Very glad
Kevin and Sally for stepping up on
Commercial.
zoning board of, no, that was,
Freight
Under review.
board of review.
Yeah.
Yeah, for your taxes, so
liner.
thanks for stepping up on that, and that's it.
Larry?
Yeah, I just want, I did PW committee meeting, and Steve and Eric, and it could be any time next week but Friday, or this week, but Friday, I can't do Friday. And we can do, since we don't work, we can do it during the day. So,
Monday's not.
no, Monday's not, well, that's Monday's fine. Unless you want to do it next week, yeah, so,
Any day but Monday.
yeah.
I don't have my calendar with me, I don't have my phone.
Give me a-
Just go ahead and set the time of the day,
Huh?
go ahead and set the time, if you do it in the morning, I can probably do it any day.
Any day? Well,
Tomorrow.
we gotta post it, so why don't we do
Thursday?
Thursday, about
What
10
time?
10 o'clock? Is that all right, Marty?
Okay.
When it's Thursday, 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
then we'd be fine with it, yeah.
Okay.
What is Thursday?
Yeah,
Mhm.
What is the date?
Yeah.
The 12th.
yeah, it's Thursday.
We'd be in,
Oh,
the fifth week.
Oh, the 5th.
Fifth is this week.
Yeah,
This week.
oh, you want it this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said next week, I'm sorry.
No. Well, we
What
can
do you need, 48 hours?
Thursday,
On 18th.
is that the 6th?
The
Yeah,
Okay.
the fifth.
Huh?
Thursday is the 5th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, 10 o'clock. Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Weir?
It has to be posted.
Glad we're making progress.
Yep.
Good meeting.
Moving forward.
That's all I have.
Robbie?
Well, I know there's been a lot of comments about the old funeral home parking lot. Looks like they have piles of millings in there now, millings or mulch. And I was just wondering, so we're all kind of pushing it off, is anybody doing anything?
Whatever happened with the nuisance committee, looking at getting somebody?
Nobody would play, nobody wants to enforce it. I don't think we should change the ordinance, I think we should
No.
enforce the ordinance. But I was just wondering if we should send it to,
Is that right? That is residential property, right?
okay, let me finish.
C1,
I think we should either send it
So it
to
is
zoning
commercial.
or the planning
but it doesn't
commission.
have a building there, so you cannot
Hey,
have.
Robbie's got the floor right
But
now,
I,
please.
yeah,
sorry.
but the point I was trying to make is, send it to, look into the master plan. Is that allowable in the master plan to have the mulch, the
That's
barricades?
the ordinance, it doesn't have to do with the master plan. Master
Well,
plan is
no,
an
I mean,
idea,
they can
so.
say, is that allowed or in the zoning?
I believe it would be allowed to be retail, but I don't think you can do it from a yard.
So
You would have to
then,
have a building.
who would,
Yeah, that's
who
my
would,
understanding.
who would break something up? If we have something that comes from zoning
It's already
and
written.
say, you can't have that, well, what are we
There's a
gonna,
list.
what are we gonna do about it? Does anybody
Who do
show it to them?
who do you send? Do you send the inspector to?
Is that commercial with the chief of, in the thing, it says chief of police or who we assign?
I don't know if it falls under blight, it's just not being used right.
Right, yeah, it's a
And
violation regardless.
And in our code, it says that the police department is only responsible for commercial
That is
property.
commercial. It's C1.
Yeah, but
But
it's residential. It's
It's been
residential.
used as commercial forever, as a commercial parking lot.
It's a parking lot.
But
You
For
park
a
in-
commercial building that we're already, I'm
But it
saying
is
is a commercial
residential.
building across the street,
I
right?
know, but when that guy
That's
bought
the whole
it,
thing of the
It was
CBA,
purchased-
that's a commercial building.
It was
The parking
purchased
lot
as
is-
residential,
Oh, was it?
yes.
It was always residential?
No.
But
That
our
was a
cement,
parking
but
lot.
our, is that cement fence allowed in a residential property then, those cement bricks?
Well, that's when you get into what is a fence or a barrier,
Or
and
That's what I mean,
it's all interpretation.
what are we doing about it? The cop doesn't wanna do none, if it's commercial, okay, he's supposed to do none, he's not doing none, so what?
But the ordinance says, you know, we can appoint somebody, I think we need to look into this instead of going all winter again.
We could appoint somebody to be what do you call that?
Ordinance officer.
Yeah, code enforcement officer for
Yeah, code.
residential properties. If you know anybody who wants that position.
He wants a
Yeah,
mulch
that's what
yard,
I was-
and that's
Well,
what he wants.
Had I not given you a
I
card
don't,
too?
Yeah, that guy never called me back.
Bart, do you know if that's mulch back there or millings? I mean, if
If
it
what?
was mulch, would that be a fire combustible or?
Well,
Do you know that?
the mulch, again, I don't know if it's, if it's a fresh tree being cut down and they're just piling back, stockpiling, it can heat up. And
There's
you got
mulch in the
potential.
back
How
and
bad
there's
is it?
millings in the front,
They
the
use,
mulch.
they use mulch and they spread like a big trail out back. So
There
they-
is
they
mulch in the
regularly
back,
spread
and
it.
now there's millings in the front,
It's like asphalt milling?
yes. That's what's there now. Is he selling it, that's what he wants to do?
I'm surprised he got rid of those
I mean,
beans.
if that's okay, it's okay,
What about those?
but I'd like to
Those beans.
be able to answer people.
Based on what we found before, it was a city officer. So someone who is, so one of us, or,
The chief
Another-
could appoint one of his guys.
but it has to be a city officer if we appoint anyone. It can't just be
Oh, okay.
a random, person. It has to be someone who can speak on behalf of the city. That's what I was able to find before, but the Armada guy, nothing. So, that was the card you gave me. He was from Armada. I think Armada,
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah. I mean, I can try him again. It's been a month and a half and haven't heard anything, so.
Okay.
It would have to be, we would have to decide to appoint someone if we would like, or find some other.
If you find somebody that would wanna take that appointment.
Right.
I mean, I don't know,
Or we talked about
maybe,
hiring.
what's
We
that?
didn't want, we talked about hiring a part-time
Right.
person too, but we,
I don't see why
Table
we
that
should
too.
hire if we, if it's in black and white in the book, why can't they just
How
enforce
about
it?
a Robin?
Find the re-
Well, it used to be that
I
you
don't
could
know.
appoint anybody as the chief of police also here, and was it actually in our code book?
Yeah,
But, that was 100 years ago. So it's a little different now.
So-
If you go to any other city, they have a code enforcement person,
Yeah.
not the police chief.
I don't
He
think-
does law enforcement,
they also
Not code
have, they also
enforcement.
have city managers.
And
We
when you
don't
get into
have
code
that.
enforcement and when you're having to sit down and you're gonna have to draft a letter to the property owner, and then if it's, there's a denial on it, then
I
you
thought we
have
already
to-
sent a letter through the lawyer.
I thought we did too.
I never saw it, so
I
I don't know
never
if we
saw
ever
it.
did or not.
I
I thought we
never
were
read.
going to.
I don't know that we ever had it. But I don't know, it's one of those, I guess we could check with Al and see if he did send anything, if he's got anything on record. I don't recall ever seeing it, come back and bounce back in an email or anything
Well,
like
I
that.
would know if there's ever been
But,
correspondence.
so it's one of those, so if you get into enforcement, then
Yeah.
you have to have somebody that's able and willing to go to court to, argue and fight over this
And
point. And then
licensed
you get
with the
into the
state,
attorney and,
too.
you know what I mean? It's,
To be a code enforcement, you have to be licensed through the state too. There's training, all that stuff.
Right.
Was one of the other things I found.
what if you are a police officer, do you have to be licensed still through the state for this?
I
Because
believe
what if one of the, full-time police officers want to do it on the
on the
side?
side. I believe they still have to be licensed for it. I think it's like the MD, some acronym or
Even-
something like
Even
that.
if our ordinance says,
I believe so, yes.
okay.
To be a code enforcement officer, I believe so. It's like the Michigan, I can't remember the acronym.
Things
but
like that can get litigious very quickly, so they wanna make sure that whoever's enforcing it's doing it right.
Doing it correctly or the correct train. It's like a 30-hour training course or something like that. So,
Or else just let it ride.
Well, I don't think we wanna do that.
No.
That's why we were
I mean, I
discussing,
think-
we just had an impasse.
If we talk, I mean, and I don't know if, what, like, the letter thing, I mean, why can't we explore sending a letter from,
Well, that's, I'm making a note here, I'll check with Al to see if anything was ever sent out. Usually he copies me as if he sends it.
I thought we did send one letter.
Well, like I said, I don't recall
That was in
seeing
the
that.
very beginning.
So maybe this is something to follow up on.
Could we request a meeting with the guy, you know, ask him, just come in and discuss it before we start?
I think that's already been done.
Well,
Has it?
I thought that was already done.
I guess that's exhausted then, we're just gonna have to,
Well,
we're gonna have to enforce it.
Let me check with our council and see if anything was sent out. And, you know, because he'll be able to pop it up in his records. Like I said, I never saw it, so. I know we had discussed it, but I don't remember ever seeing it, so.
I think all the other stuff kind of started taking over on that.
Yeah. Anything else, Ron?
No, I'm good.
I got nothing.
Eric?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Kevin is taking over that.